yeah, it gives the right to force examinations, isolate and quarantine cities, towns, and specifically designed encampments, right?
That's right. If you refuse to get the vaccine, it's two-pronged in that Emergency Health Powers Act. It attacks the individual's constitutional rights, which was, again, like I said before, is blatantly and totally not only unconstitutional, but has been proven that by judicial review in the judiciary. Supreme Court ruled against forced vaccinations. It's in the court record. It's in the U.S. Code. Okay? So it goes against not only the Constitution, but also the Supreme Court's rulings. But you see, in an emergency, everything changes according to the Bush administration. And the current administration has no change in that at all. In fact, they're welcoming it. In the case of a pandemic and a national emergency, everything changes. They can force their way in and do whatever they want, basically. So here is the scenario. Whenever the World Health Organization, which again is controlled by the same international banking cartel families, when the WHO ratchets their pandemic alert to level 5, that is when the Model State Emergency Health Powers Act and the individual state, National Guard troops and police, etc., go into the first phase of martial law. Now, the reality is the World Health Organization, with what's happening in Mexico, and Mexicali, and Mexico City, and now in Texas, and we had our first fatality today, they say, from this pandemic flu, what they are going to be looking at closely. We are, as of Monday afternoon at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, the World Health Organization ratcheted it up to level 4. One step away from level 5 where martial law begins. Now, what triggers level 5? Well, it's pretty much a subjective thing based on political agendas and everything else, right?
Right.
It's possible that level 5 and then into level 6 is the top level where pandemic is full-blown. But level 5 is full pandemic. Such things can be instituted under the Emergency Health Powers Act to stop commercial airline flights, to actually start curtailing interstate commerce, trucking, such things as schools can be shut down, all public and even private schools can be shut down. That's the next step, and it could happen very quickly. It could happen in 24 hours. So just be aware that that is the agenda. Does that mean you're in danger? No. No, not at all. You'll find that the people that are coming down with this flu have been pre-vaccinated. This is a blossoming thing based on a vaccine. And you're totally safe if you're not vaccinated. Got to make that very, very, very clear. Just as in 1918, the people that died were those that had been vaccinated, with just a very few exceptions.
To know, because I absolutely refused all flu vaccinations. I worked in healthcare, and I was a conscious objector. I had a lot of harassment about it, but I still refused, and I'm really glad now, because I didn't know that then. I just didn't feel right about it. And now that I know what I know, and from what you're saying, I'm really, really glad I've never done it.
Well,
and I don't intend to.
There's nothing good about a vaccination, end of story. And the lies that are, and the propaganda that's generated through the news agencies, keep in mind the very people that own the large pharmaceutical manufacturing houses, which you tie back to the Rockefeller cartel and the Rothschild group. These international bankers own the pharmaceutical houses. They also own Reuters news agency and Associated Press, which 95% of the news outlets, both TV and newsprint, are controlled by these same people. They're not going to tell you anything but take our poisonous vaccine. We know what's good for you. You're too stupid to know anything else yourself. But folks, there is nothing good about a vaccine. Putting a live or even attenuated dead viruses into your body is poison. Your body is not accustomed to that. It will not boost your immunity any more than receiving it through the nose in a sneeze. If you're going to get it, it's not going to matter if it comes in a vaccine or whether it's aerosol borne. Okay, the chances of it being aerosol borne in this combination is virtually nil. That's what I'm saying. You can catch the seasonal virus, yes. That's got H3N2 genes that will make you have the fever and be sick for a little while. But it's not going to be deadly into the form of killing you like this injected virus will be.
Right. So now they're talking about the possibility of this mutating and getting stronger and stronger. Now, if based on the vaccine is what's going to be kill people, do we fear the fact that they mutate?
See, right now there's not a mass vaccination going on. That's what's going to kill people. Okay? There's going to be isolated pockets of people that are getting sick from a contaminated influenza virus vaccine last winter. There's ways to attenuate that where it becomes a time-release disease. That's what me and a few other colleagues have maintained has happened. A select few, typically Hispanic groups that have received these influenza vaccines, they're time-release. They basically don't release and blossom until 3 to 6 months after vaccination. And then when that happens, it's a very, relatively mild strain. You're going to have about a 10% mortality rate, which is quite high, really, for an influenza, but nothing like the 30-35% mortality of the 1918 final wave strain. Okay, and that will come by mass vaccinations. When people
don't.
Go ahead.
If people don't get the vaccinations, then we don't need to, we have a question on the chat asking, there's already 1 death in the United States and 11 states are infected. They're asking, do you think it'll spread, how long do you think before it'll spread across the United States? But if people aren't getting vaccinated, which hopefully they don't, then we don't have to worry about wiping out the United States. Am I right?